Huge breaking news to come out of Disneyland Paris. Universal dropped 3 new scare zones and Disney makes film history. It's been a busy week. Hi guys, this is Connor now and welcome to the Weekly FastPass, your weekly go-to roundup of all the biggest Disney and Universal park news from around the world. So let's get into it, and we're going to start off at Disneyland Paris as that's where the breaking news is coming from. So today, building permits for a future up-themed attraction coming to Disneyland Paris has just been announced. So this project will be called Project Air, and the building permit confirms an expansion that will occupy a surface area of 793 square meters. And you're just seeing the photos here, but more details have been shared about this family-friendly spinner. It's going to be integrated into the new Adventure Way zone. So the covered square span will be approximately 310 square meters. The ride will feature a circular platform, 20 meters in diameter, accommodating 64 seats per cycle. So it's kind of like the one at Disneyland, not Disneyland, sorry, DCA over by Pixar Pier kind of. So stay tuned for that, because next week, if we get any more details, we will definitely show you. But that is breaking news from literally about an hour ago. So you have heard it here first. So make sure you subscribe for breaking news just like this one. What else has come out of Disneyland Paris? The construction on the new Lion King land has started with a couple of excavators moving stuff around, so we'll definitely bring you some more news on that when it drops. So we're going to move over to the west coast of America to Disneyland, and Lillian Disney has received a Main Street window dedicated in her honor, which is very nice from Disney to do that. Disney also released photos and a video of the new audio animatronic show Walt Disney One Man's Dream. Obviously, you've seen all of the videos of people doing POVs, and also the ride has broken down already. You might have seen the video online where Walt kind of gets up and he just stops and all the lights turn off. But I'm very excited to head back over to Disneyland and see that. So make sure you stay tuned. And also, if you haven't seen, we have just dropped our first episode of our vlog travel day for Los Angeles, so make sure you check that out. I will link it just here. New exhibits exploring the history of Walt Disneyland and Walt Disney himself will open on Main Street Opera House for the park's 70th anniversary, and that opened on the 17th of July. And also a big one coming out of Disneyland is dozens of menu items across the Disneyland resorts have increased in price. The price increases are generally between 25 cents and $1.25. So if you're watching this from the UK, that is between 19p and 90p, and it's mostly affecting beverages. So I'm not going to go through the whole list because there is a massive list. So what I'll do is I'll link it down, not actually link it, I'll put it in the description down below so you can see everything that's changed. So things like this. So coffee options have increased. So a regular cold brew is now $6.79 instead of $6.29. A nitro cold brew is now $7.29 instead of $6.79. As of the snacks, the Mickey Mouse pretzel went from $5.99 to now $6.29, and the jalapeno cheese-filled pretzel and cream cheese-filled pretzel both increased from $6.99 to $7.29. Bit of an increase, as I just said. Everything will be listed below so you can see what is increased. The Main Street Cinema in Disneyland Park is temporarily closed for the installation of the Sherman Brothers tribute. That will be called So Much That We Share, which is a tribute to the Sherman Brothers that has opened on Main Street Cinema as part of Disneyland's 70th anniversary celebrations, which I saw Bob Iger was there. It looked really cool. It was, I'd love to have been out there, but unfortunately we couldn't because we just got back, but it looked absolutely amazing. So over to Disney World. We're going to start with the virtual queue for the test track was booked within moments of the first day of annual pass holders preview, which is crazy. That looks like it's going to be such a popular ride. Muppets Courtyard is being deconstructed, and a couple of Monster Inc. leaks in the park. As you can see from all of these photos, it's going to look quite cool, but yeah, more on that next week as we haven't got too much now. Toy Story Land looks like it could be getting a new snack kiosk, which is going to be amazing. As you can see, it's all cornered off in these photos here, but it's going to be I think that's going to be really cool. Disney have begun draining the Rivers of America attraction, and that was officially closed last week. If you saw last week's episode, we went through that in a bit more detail, which was absolutely crazy, but link's just here if you want to go watch that episode. The construction walls have gone up around the recently closed Rivers of America as well. There is a new nighttime parade, the Disney Starlight. The Dream Night Away parade debuts in the Magic Kingdom on the 20th of July. And it's confirmed that fans will be able to listen to the soundtrack on music streaming services like Spotify. So if you have Spotify or Apple Play, make sure you head over and listen to that. And then the last one from Disney World is that Disney Hollywood Studios has, I'm not sure if you've seen them all online, but they put some of the BDX droids into Galaxy's Edge, which was really cool. They had a little roam around. So if you haven't seen that video, just hop over to socials and you'll be able to see it anywhere if you just type in BDX droids. So now on to Universal Hollywood. So the footage I showed on this show last week, if you haven't seen that, make sure you go check it out. There's been actually a chain fence that has been added around like the top of the work site. As you can see from this footage here, it was quite a close call incident that nearly ended in tragedy. A digger, I think, slipped from the top layer and came down and just got caught by the edge of the building. I think if that went, that would have unfortunately been very bad for the person inside of that. So yes, new chain fencing's gone up. Obviously the safety requirements haven't really been met, so they've had to whack that up now, which is crazy. I thought they should have probably put that up before, considering there's diggers on kind of loose soil and things like that, which is not the best. Unfortunately, when we went to LA last month, I was so excited to have a Johnny Rockets, and when we walked down the city walk, we noticed it was closed, and apparently quite a few of them have closed now because I think a company's taken them over and closed them all in kind of malls and things like that, and they're just kind of keeping them as one kind of restaurant here and there instead of in malls. But the Johnny Rockets has now been replaced on the city walk with a restaurant called Mr. Barbecue, which sounds quite good. Can't wait to try that out. And also the copyright for the Donkey Kong movie has been registered by Universal Studios. So expect to see a film of that soon. Over to Universal Orlando. Now, Universal has announced a few new original scare zones that will be featured in Halloween Horror Nights 34. So the first one will be called Origins of Horror. And this is what they said on their socials. So they said, you're invited to a masquerade ball where bloodthirsty vampires lurk behind the ornate disguises. When their masks fall, you'll become prey. So sounds very scary. I'm going to be honest, vampires aren't my favorite thing. They're a bit odd, I find. So that's the first one that they released. The second scare zone is called Mutations Toxic 20s, and this is going to be set in a 1920s neighborhood where a BuzzCon truck with radioactive cargo crashes into a mobster getaway car, sending the city into a toxic pandemonium. The 1920s theme is quite cool, but yeah, I'm going to have to see videos of it. I'm not sure about that one as well. The 1920s, I think it's going to be quite cool. You can make it look quite scary, but the whole thing of a radioactive cargo crashing into a mobster getaway car, seems like they were panicking a little bit and came up with ideas probably within 10 minutes, and they were like, yeah, let's run with that. And the final scare zone coming out of Universal this week is called the Cat Lady of Crooked Lane. That's the scare zone. I think this one is actually quite cool. It looks pretty strange, pretty weird, but I think it's going to be amazing. So this is what they put on their socials. Travel down a spooky winding path to a mysterious home where trick-or-treaters are transformed into feral felines. Be careful or you'll be next. I'm excited to see this one. I think this one's probably the strongest out of the three. But yeah, we're gonna have to see. It's gonna look good, I think. It's gonna be at night with all the lights. It's gonna be scary anyway, which is amazing. Signs on the construction wall surrounding Hollywood Riptide Rocket hints to several possible themes of attraction replacements, including Fast and Furious, Back to the Future, and Ghostbusters, which is it's going to be amazing. Fun fact, when I used to work in the film industry, I actually worked on Ghostbusters. Such an amazing production, such amazing people, and people like Dan Aykroyd, the nicest people you'll meet. Little fun fact. Also, a ceremony was held for the official return of Jimmy Buffett's Hemisphere Dancer plane at Margaritaville. I don't know why we didn't go to Margaritaville when we went, me and Ellie. Not sure why, should have gone, it looks amazing. The Palace Arcade at Universal Studios has unfortunately closed down. And finally, the bridge that usually provides a shortcut across the Universal Studios Florida Lagoon from Springfield to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter is currently closed for refurbishment, so you cannot use that. No date of a return, but at the moment it is closed. Universal Studios Japan, it's going to be our first actual news from Japan since starting this series. And the news coming out of Japan is that it is celebrating the grand opening of the Minion Park expansion, which includes Illumination's VillainCon Minion Blast with several new Minion themed snacks. That looks, I love the Minions, I love Illumination. All the Illumination films I'm such a big fan of, so that's going to be an amazing addition to Universal Japan. Another new entry for this week is Disney Tokyo Sea. So the new Dreamers Take Flight stage show premiered at Tokyo Disney Sea on the 16th of July 2025. It features Mickey and his friends fixing up a plane so Minnie can fly. The new 25-minute show is at the hangar stage in Lost River Delta. The show takes guests through the day at a airplane factory. I've seen a couple of videos and a couple of pictures of it and things like that. It looks very cool. So if you ever take the Disney Tokyo Sea, make sure you go check that show out, because it does look very cool. Disneyland Abu Dhabi, no new news this week. Nothing's really come out. They're just going to be obviously building it, so you might not hear a bit from that for a while. And I know this is more for parks, but I wanted to throw a couple of films in there as well. Disney films. This is like the Disney news and Pixar news this week. So the new Lilo and Stitch has hit $1 billion in the box office. It's the first Hollywood movie in 2025 to reach $1 billion, which is absolutely mental. It's been, what, we like halfway through the 7th month and they've already hit $1 billion. Actually, can't remember when it came out. I don't think it's come out. I think it came out quite recently as well. It hasn't even taken 7 months, which is absolutely crazy. I'm sure you've seen all the news being dropped, but 2 new trailers have dropped for Pixar and Disney. Pixar has released a trailer for a new film that combines human brain and a beaver. I'm going to tag the trailer below. I gave it a watch and I'm not sure about it. I just think that there was no like Disney and Pixar magic and charm in the trailer. I'm going to be honest with you, it looked a little bit forgettable. I was struggling to watch it. I kind of wanted the trailer to end so I can swipe off and start scrolling again because, yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it. But maybe when the film comes out, I'll give it a watch and it's going to be a lot different. And also Disney released the trailer and also some images for the new Tron Heirs? I think it's called Heirs actually, Tron Heirs, which is coming to cinemas on the 10th of October. And I'm so happy Disney has put this into cinemas and not straight onto Disney Plus, because this is the kind of film that you really need to watch on the big screen. It's actually been filmed for IMAX, so if you have the chance, go into cinemas, watch it. It's going to look amazing. If you live near an IMAX theatre, go watch it there. It's going to be absolutely crazy. I'm going to link the trailer below. And finally, for all of the film news, Walt Disney Company has earned 137 nominations for the 77th Emmy Awards, which is absolutely mental. 137 shows have been nominated. And that is it for updates this week for Disney and Universal parks around the world. So what do you make of all of the Disney and Universal park news coming out this week? Don't forget to drop your thoughts down below. Subscribe because you don't want to miss any of this breaking news. And share this with a friend that owes you a trip to Disney or Universal. That is a big one. Make sure you do that. And we'll see you back here next week for another weekly FastPass. See you later.